This is Retirement Keys with Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Anthony provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Retirement Keys with your host, Anthony Congemi.
Hello and welcome to another show, Retirement Keys, with me, Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group, and our fabulous co-host, Mr. Tony Shore. Tony, we appreciate you being with us each and every week. We really couldn't do the show without you. We appreciate you, and I think we're going to have a great show today, Tony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, thank you, Anthony. That's nice of you to say, and I love being here with you, talking about our finances. I know you help educate people in our community, and I always learn something, so that's good. And I've had a crazy busy week myself, but my schedule's nothing compared to yours. Before the show we were talking, it sounds like you've been burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, Tony, it's been busy. You know, we've got, of course, our firm, we started doing the library events and started talking a lot about the Social Security maximization reports that are really the foundation of any retirement plan, looking at all of the various options for Social Security. And Saturday, yesterday, we just had our kind of a lunch and learn at the Jefferson Parish Library, which we'll be doing 2 of those every month. So we started incorporating that into our workshops as well as our dinner seminars that we do at Austin's Restaurant in Metairie. So if any of you folks are listening and would like to come to one of the workshops, as I say, the library event was on the Social Security maximization. It will be on that because it's such a foundation or cornerstone to your overall retirement plan, as well as the tax, the new tax reform and how those different changes in the tax laws can impact your retirement as well. So great workshop. People really enjoyed it, Tony, and I would really invite all of our listeners, if you're out there and you don't have a formal retirement plan and you'd like to come into one of our workshops, absolutely come and do that. So between that, Tony, and then, of course, school's getting ready to start. So I know everybody's hustling, bustle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're no different there. As you know, I have 4 boys, and Anthony, my oldest son, is headed to Lafayette, University of Lafayette. And, I tell people, I'm 51 years old, Tony, and my kids are from 18 to 8. So I have little Sam, my 8-year-old, who really, he's terrific. He's the best one out the whole bunch. I hate to say it. But great kids, all boys, and like as I say, I'm 51 with an 8-year-old, so I'll be on Medicare by the time I'm finished raising this bunch. But good kids, but very busy right now, getting prepared for all the different schools. And how about you, Tony?
Well, yeah, same. I have 3 kids, and my son's getting ready to go back to be a junior in college. The other 2 are going back to high school this year, and I can't believe already we're doing the back-to-school stuff, buying supplies, all that. It just seems like the summer hardly was here. It just flew by, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. As you blink your eyes and summer's over. Although I think that they're getting, for the most part, it seems like my group is ready to get started again. They miss their friends, and the routine, I think, is good. I think that's true even in retirement. I think it's true for all of us. You need a routine. I mean, even as a retired person, we try to encourage our clients to have, in the successful retirements, it seems they do have a routine. Whether it be going exercise or volunteering. Actually, we've done some shows on just that, the social aspect of retirement. And so I think a routine's good for us all, Tony.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of routine, sometimes we hear about IRAs, and it seems like they could be routine for retirement planning. And I know that's what you wanted to talk about today. I'm excited to talk about this topic because I think a lot of people out there have IRAs, but do they really know what it is or understand it and how to manage an IRA? This is probably something we can all benefit from, right?
Absolutely. It is, because retirement has changed. And so has the way we need to plan for it. Now we may need to plan for 30 or even 40 years in retirement, and making mistakes or taking losses in retirement could be damaging. There's a lot of information people still need to know in order to make the best decisions for their retirement goals, especially concerning their IRAs. IRAs, as you know, stand for individual retirement accounts, and this is pre-tax money. Traditional IRA money is pre-tax money. Of course, you could have Roths, which we'll talk a little bit about in the going through the show. But yes, your IRAs are your retirement accounts, which will be a part of your overall retirement plan. And they're very unique tools. They're very beneficial, but they have to be understood and they have to be managed appropriately, Tony.
So how do you know which IRA is going to be best for you?
Well, that's a great question. There are two factors you want to consider when choosing the IRA type that's right for you. The first is to understand your contribution limits. In 2016, the max you could contribute to an IRA was $5,500, and if you were over 50 years old or older, you could contribute an additional $1,000. So you could contribute up to $6,500 if you're over 50. As I mentioned previously, a traditional IRA uses pre-tax dollars, whereas a Roth IRA contribution already has taxed the dollars going in. This means once you reach 59 and a half and are able to access your IRA funds penalty-free, you can either have tax-deferred money or you can have pre-taxed money. So it really depends on the situation, but frankly, I think they both have merit. A traditional IRA, pre-tax dollars, has merit. I think the Roth IRA certainly can be beneficial as well. And sometimes combining the two strategies in a distribution plan in retirement can really go a long way, Tony, in helping out with our tax responsibilities when we retire.
Yeah, obviously this is critical. Now, you mentioned, I think 59 and a half is the age at which we can access our IRA without penalties, but can you access your money at any time?
Yes, you can technically take your money out of your IRA whenever you want. However, you're under the 59 and a half rule, and there could be penalties. The purpose is to discourage you from tapping into your IRA before retirement. Different types of IRAs come with different tax penalties. With a traditional IRA, if you withdraw money before reaching age 59 and a half, you will be hit with a 10% penalty on the amount you withdraw. In addition, the distribution is included in your taxable income as ordinary income. Roth IRAs have a bit more flexibility. You can escape the 10% tax penalty in a Roth IRA if you're withdrawing the money for a few specific purposes. With a little strategy and help from a financial services professional, there are some ways to prevent Uncle Sam from taking your hard-earned money on this. So it's real important, Tony, to have a good plan, have a good distribution strategy. You know, especially in retirement when you start drawing income from your pre-tax traditional IRA or your tax-free Roth account or your Social Security or your defined benefit plan or pension that you may have with an employer. All of this money can be taxed differently, and you want to have an overall distribution strategy that's going to be tax efficient. And that's really the key here, Tony. And I would just encourage our listeners, if you don't have a formal retirement income plan, where we can see all the pieces of the puzzle and see just how your retirement income is going to look and what the tax consequences will be or may be based on tax, obviously based on the tax brackets and tax laws as we sit today, but to get some understanding about the best strategies to utilize to really maximize your income in retirement. It's so important to have. I would like to make this special offer. You've been listening to our shows and advice on getting your finances in order and creating a retirement income plan that will last. Now is the time to take advantage of our special offer. This is Anthony Kangemi of Crescent City Retirement Group, and we're now offering a complimentary gourmet dinner and retirement planning workshop, The 5 Keys to a Stress-Free Retirement. This is one workshop you won't want to miss. Call in the next 20 minutes for this no-cost offer. Seating is limited. Call Crescent City Retirement Group within the next 20 minutes at 504-828-2171. That number again is 504-828-2171.
And welcome back to Retirement Keys with our host, Anthony Kangemi from Crescent City Retirement, and myself, your co-host, Tony Shore. Now, today's show is What an IRA Can Do for Your Retirement. That's the title of our show, talking about managing that IRA, getting the most out of it. And in the first segment, Anthony, you told us about the two main types of IRAs, which are traditional and Roth, and the differences. You also talked about how we decide which IRA is going to fit our unique situations. And then you were talking about how to take those distributions. And I have to laugh, Anthony, because the IRS they always have to complicate things with the 59 and a half, the half year there. It's always, I always get a kick out of that because the IRS couldn't just be 59 and it couldn't be 60. They had to go with the half to make the math a little more complicated and to make people scratch their heads. It's just like, it's almost like they do that on purpose. But now that we've talked about some of these differences in IRAs and maybe we found one that matches our preferences, give us some tips on how to manage our IRAs.
When managing your IRA, as we discussed, it's important, too, that you plan your distributions ahead of time and make sure that you're aware of any tax deductions or penalties that you may incur. If you're older than 70 or 70 and a half, yeah, there goes that half again, Tony.
Yeah.
If you're older than 70 and a half, make sure you plan to take your required minimum distributions, RMDs, required minimum distributions, as the Internal Revenue Service or IRS requires you to take a withdrawal from your qualified accounts. It's also important to note that you may want to make sure your IRA is error-free as to avoid any surprises when you retire. And lastly, meet with your financial services professional for a second opinion to make sure your assets and investments are aligned with your unique situation. It's important that your IRA fits what you need, as it is a significant piece to your well-executed retirement strategy. It really is. It's a great piece to your retirement strategy, as well as Social Security, as well as good tax strategies. So it's all working together, Tony. You know, I had a fella in my office the other day, and he said, you know, I really want to work with a firm that can help with the estate planning and the tax strategies and the investment strategy and the income planning and the health care planning. He was telling me he believed that, you know, all of those pieces should, you know, fit together and should complement each other. And how do you get all of these various professionals to talk to each other? And I mean, really, he was preaching to the choir. I mean, we really believe that to be 100% true. Your healthcare planning, your estate planning, your tax strategy, your income planning, your investment strategy really needs to be, it's a holistic approach. They all should be working together. And this IRA planning and distribution strategy should fit right in to an overall retirement plan.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that's those are great points to be aware of. Give us some more information on IRAs that we might not know about.
Well, there's a lot to know about IRAs. Thanks for asking that. One common misconception is that you can't contribute to more than one IRA. The good news is you can contribute to as many IRAs as you want. However, the total deposit in all IRAs is limited to the annual maximum amount, which is either $5,500 or if you're over 50, you get a $1,000 catch up, so you can put up to $6,500. For example, if you're 45 years old and you contribute $3,000 into your traditional IRA, you can only contribute $2,500 into your Roth. So it would be for this 45-year-old $5,500 total, but they could make part into the traditional, part into the Roth. Another item some may not know about is that IRA losses may be tax deductible. You can't use losses inside of the IRA to offset gains, but if you distribute the total balance from your traditional IRA and the amount is less than your basis in the amount, you can deduct the loss. You can also deduct IRA fees from your taxes. Having an understanding of your IRA's built-in flexibilities can help you customize your retirement savings to meet your specific retirement needs. A lot of times, Tony, it's the little small foxes, that destroy the vine.
Sure.
It's the little things. It's the little tax deduction here, or the excessive fee there, or not maximizing a structured income over here, or not maximizing a distribution strategy. It's the little things, but all those little things can really add up. And that's really the idea of really putting a holistic plan together. But these are some points here, Tony, that really I think could make a difference.
Well, and thanks for sharing that. With IRAs, I imagine there are a lot of mistakes that can be made when you try to manage your own. Go over some of the mistakes that you've seen people make that we should avoid.
Absolutely. There are a few common mistakes that can be made with your IRA, including messing up the required minimum distribution, contributing too much, and blowing some deadlines for rollovers. These are all mistakes. Once you hit 70 and a half, the IRS will require you to take required minimum distributions from your traditional IRA. And if you fail to take that RMD, the IRS will hit you with a tax penalty of up to 50%.
Oh,
it's significant. Beneficiaries of traditional IRAs who choose the stretch option are subject to the RMD rules, as well as face the same 50% penalty for neglecting to take the full distribution. So if a beneficiary inherits the IRA, even if they could be 40, 45 years old, they still have to, do some things right in order to maintain the beneficiary IRA and not be subject to that penalty. With a Roth IRA, of course, there's no RMD or required minimum distribution required. Another mistake that's commonly made is contributing too much to your IRA. With the contributions locked at $5,500 or $6,500, putting in more can trigger a penalty to the tune of 6% each year. Alternatively, you can carry that contribution to another year and have that count toward that tax year's contribution amount, but you have to document that with the IRS. The third most common mistake would be blowing the deadlines for the 60-day rollover. This is most common when you leave your employee-sponsored IRA plan. You're looking to roll it over to another IRA. Additionally, you can only do this rollover once every 365 days. People can lose their entire IRA because they rolled over twice in a year and didn't realize it. The safest bet is to do a direct transfer from one institution to the other. With everything that goes correctly, the money never comes out of the retirement account because the check is written to the receiving institution, not an individual. So, they're really, IRAs are wonderful. We talk a lot about triple compounding, where you have taxes on interest on your principal, interest on your interest on your tax savings. That triple compounding, IRAs can grow really, really well because of that. They're a fabulous tool to contribute to for your future retirement. But there are rules. There are rules that have to be maintained. And if we know what those rules are, we can work within the confines of the rules and really develop a well-oiled machine as it relates to our retirement strategy.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's very helpful. Now, we should probably take a quick break here, and I know you have a special offer for our listeners, correct?
I do. If you're listening and you don't have a formal retirement plan or retirement income plan and you'd like one put together, you'd like to see how that looks, please, by all means, take advantage of our offer. You've been listening to our shows and advice on getting your finances in order and creating a retirement income plan that will last. Now is the time to take advantage of our special offer. This is Anthony Kangemi with Crescent City Retirement Group, and we're now offering our 3-step retirement planning process at no cost and a $100 gift card to the restaurant of your choice upon completion of the planning process. Call Crescent City Retirement Group within the next 20 minutes at 504-828-2171. That number again is 504-828-2171.
And welcome back to Retirement Keys with our host, Anthony Kangemi. And today we're talking about what an IRA can do for your retirement. And you've covered a lot already today, Anthony, the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, and then how planning IRAs are important for our retirement strategies, and how to manage our IRAs to meet our retirement goals. I'd like to go back to a comment you mentioned in the last segment about how important an IRA is, and it's a part of a well-executed retirement strategy. So how do you help your clients create a lifetime income that's going to be sufficient enough for them to retire on utilizing an IRA?
Well, Tony, it often depends on the specific situation that each client brings. When it comes to creating a lifetime income, the key is to develop an income strategy that provides flexibility, but also making sure that it's efficient. In other words, we want to identify the most effective way possible to fill the income gap. And that is when I really work with my clients to address their financial wants and needs and how an IRA can help play a part in that. I want to make sure we can find a financial solution that may help fill that income need, but still helps them cover their financial goals and objectives. Having a well drawn out, well documented income plan with all the income sources considered, Social Security, maybe a defined benefit plan or pension from a company or an employer, your IRAs, any other retirement accounts, Roths, traditionals, all of the pieces of the puzzle can all work together to really maximize the retirement plan.
So along with creating reliable income, I've also heard that people want to use their IRAs for their legacy, to pass along a legacy to their loved ones. How does that process work?
Well, that's also very common. IRA and legacy planning is a comprehensive assessment of your values and financial goals to help ensure your wealth is preserved, appropriately transferred, and realized by future generations. Your plan reflects a lifetime of effort and provides the knowledge that your wealth will be passed on to your children and grandchildren. And so estate and legacy planning is really a big part of an overall retirement plan, and how those assets are going to pass on and what the tax liability would be for your children and grandchildren, and what are some tax strategies or some estate planning or leveraging strategies that can be employed by many, many people around the country that employ these strategies every day to really enhance the amount of money that is passed on to our kids and grandkids. So yeah, Tony, that's a big part of it. Now I will say, and it's very simple. I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, if somebody were to ask you, hey, how important is passing on assets to your kids and your grandkids? Do you really want to leverage what you're passing on? Do you really want to enhance what you're passing on? Now that question can be asked, and you get various responses. Some people will say, oh, that's very important to me. That's an 8 or a 9. We want to make sure we really enhance what we pass on. And other people might say, we raised our kids, we educated them, we did everything for them. Now this is our time. We want to really enjoy it to our fullest, and then whatever is left, they can get. So I'm not saying there's any right or wrong there, but what I am saying is if it's high on the priority to really enhance what you pass on, there's strategies for that.
Sure.
And so again, that's all part of just, walking through a very simple process of retirement planning to make sure that all the pieces of the puzzle are there. And it's customized to you. It's exactly what your family and what is important to you.
Yeah.
So I would just say, Tony, I appreciate you with us again this week, Tony, and I appreciate all of our listeners tuning in every Sunday morning. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we really mean this when we say we want to bring value. I mean, at the end of the day, if this show is a value, if you're getting something from it, please let us know. Let us know. Call, email, write. Let us know that you're getting value. And by all means, if you don't have that formal retirement plan, all the pieces together in one place, in one binder, come to our office. Let us show you what that plan looks like, and we can help you do it. I will make this offer, and if you take advantage of it, I assure you, you're going to be thankful.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Keys. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, please contact Anthony Congemi at Crescent City Retirement Group. Call 504-828-2171 or visit the website at crescentcityretirement.com. All matters discussed during this show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. Anthony Congemi and Crescent City Retirement Group are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency.